This is Taking Stock on Bloomberg. Let's talk about Juniper Networks, among the biggest technology risers today in the S&P 500. The company announcing it's revamping systems at NYSE Euronext, trying to make it the fastest exchange in the world. We have the CEO of Juniper Networks, Kevin Johnson. Kevin Johnson, welcome.
Thank you.
Kevin, tell us, what are you hearing from large enterprise customers right now? Are they deferring purchases, or are they stepping up to the plate and putting money to work with big IT projects, specifically telcos and internet providers?
Well, certainly in our situation in the first quarter of this year, as we announced our earnings, our service provider segment declined, but our enterprise business actually grew. And as a new entrant in the switch market, which is a $20 billion market, we are seeing growth in the enterprise. And certainly the economy has impacted customer purchase decisions, and you would expect some of those projects to slow down. But the fact is, more and more customers have need for high-performance networks, which is our focus.
Let's talk about some of the partnerships that you put together in order to boost business. For example, IBM. How does that partnership work, and what do you expect it to do?
Well, IBM has been a longtime partner of Juniper Networks from way back as we work on silicon projects together. And about a year ago or so, we announced an expansion of our partnership, really focused on the data center architecture of the future. As customers consolidate these mega data centers, Juniper Networks bringing a new paradigm of the network fabric in partnership with work that IBM is doing is setting a vision for the future. And that was what the NYSE Euronext announcement was about today, their selection of Juniper Networks as the networking partner to enable these new mega data centers.
Now, when you talk about these new mega data centers, a lot of that data is what? Is going to be video in the future, at least coming from the internet. You've got some new video products. Tell us about them.
Well, certainly the internet continues to grow. There are more and more users on the internet. They are spending more minutes of usage on the internet, and they're consuming more bits per minute. And a lot of the bits per minute that they're consuming is being driven by video, as you pointed out. Certainly in our routing business and our work with service providers, we're enabling solutions on the edge of the network with our edge routers and content distribution solutions. We've announced some solutions with partners here in the last 90 days that are helping our service provider customers carry that traffic and provide great service levels to their customers.
Now, when you take a look at those service levels and the customers right now, what can we expect in terms of orders? What are you giving us in terms of guidance for the rest of the year?
Well, we're in a quiet period right now as we close the quarter, and the comments that we made at our analyst meeting and last quarter is that we're providing quarter-by-quarter guidance. And so we'll look forward to our earnings release in July, where we can offer a view of the next quarter's guidance.
What about margins right now? Do you see that margins are stable?
Well, certainly as this global macroeconomic downturn hit, we, like many other companies, tightened up OPEX, but at the same time, we increased our investment in research and development to fund the things in the product roadmap that we think will help us accelerate out of this downturn. And so in the last quarter, our earnings showed some margin compression, but clearly our long-term perspective on the way we're running the financials is to be a company that's growing top line 20+% and expanding margins as a result.
All right, switches, routers, also security products. Tell us about what's going on in security in Juniper.
Well, certainly we've got a very significant leadership position when it comes to security, and because we are one of the few companies that has switching, routing, and security all running on a single operating system called Junos, we are beginning to integrate those capabilities into more seamless solutions for our customers. We announced a set of products late last year that we're seeing very strong traction on. And even in a global economic downturn, security is a very important priority for our customers.
Now, when you talk about security, is there anything that you think that customers are not spending money on? You talked about security spending there. What are they not spending on? Big projects, small projects? What are you seeing?
Well, certainly if you look at NYSE Euronext, a project like these new data centers is strategic to their business. Being able to provide low latency transactions in these mega data centers is core to their strategy. So those types of strategic projects are getting funded, and customers are moving forward with those. Oftentimes, some of the areas just upgrading more legacy technologies are being deferred for a future date. But things that are strategic to our customers, they are investing in.
What about the Ethernet business right now? You introduced some new products to try to expand there. Are you finding that you're getting a lot of acceptance?
Well, we announced about 18 months, 2 years ago, our MX series Edge routers, Ethernet, carrier Ethernet routers, and that has been a phenomenal product for us. It's grown very rapidly. Just last week, I think we announced an expansion of a partnership with Nokia Siemens Networks around carrier Ethernet, and so that continues to be a solution that delivers great value to our service provider customers.
What about cost cutting? You've done a lot at Juniper Networks. Are we going to see more cost containment?
Well, we're going to continue to manage our operating expenses in a financially responsible manner. But we are going to also keep our eye on making sure we're investing and funding those projects on the R&D roadmap that we think give us the opportunity to really accelerate and take market share coming out of this downturn. And so it's a balancing act, recognizing the macroeconomic conditions, but also making sure we're investing for long-term shareholder value.
Now, one of the things you're always trying to do, you balance earnings, you balance sales. Are we going to see that margin expansion a little bit in the earnings side?
Well, as I said, we're in a quiet period right now, and we're closing out the quarter. And so certainly, I think third week of July, when we have our earnings call, we'll be able to share more details of what we see unfolding near term. All right.
We're going to look forward to that detail. I want to thank you very much, Kevin Johnson, the CEO of Juniper Networks, coming to us from the floor of the New York Stock Exchange.